Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So as you can see from the title, today we are going to see what messages we can get from your guides. I want to keep it open-ended because so that whoever wants to come through can say whatever messages they want to say, whatever they feel like you need to know right now. So I think that they will be quite different for everybody. But I just wanted to say that just deciding to do this video has put me in such a good mood. Like, the energy of guides is so nice. They are so loving and positive, and they're always, really excited to talk to their people. So PSA, guys, talk to your guides more. They really love it when you communicate and reach out to them, and it just it lifts your energy so much. I bought this new crystal. It's purple rhodonite. It's supposed to balance out your emotions and be very healing, I think, especially for the heart chakra. So I thought it would be good to put in this reading so that we can help the loving messages come through. And I also have this little angel. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to show you the crystals that I have here to help you choose your pile. And then, as usual, you can pause the video if you need more time to choose. And then once you've decided, you can go to the comments and I will have the timestamps pinned for all of the piles. I've also just written little messages for each pile that I thought would be nice for you to hear. So yeah, okay. Pile number 1 is Tiger's Eye. Pile number 2 is Rose Quartz. Pile number 3 is Citrine. Pile number 4 is Amethyst. Pile number 5 is Malachite. Alright, so those are the piles, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you picked the Tiger's Eye, this is going to be your reading. So I'm going to start by opening the message. I will talk about it for a little bit, talk about anything else that I feel coming through, and then we will get into the cards. So your message is, rely on us more. And this is going to apply, I think, to anybody who is watching this video, regardless of your level of awareness of your guides, regardless of how often you communicate with them. Maybe you don't really know who they are, you haven't tried reaching out before, maybe you talk to them every day, maybe you're not sure who's really there or if anyone's really there. This applies to everybody. They want you not just to communicate, but, ask for guidance, ask if you ever need reassurance, anything. Think of a friend that you can call at all hours of the day and night for anything, even if it's for something stupid, even if you just want to say hi, please reach out. I think for a lot of people in this pile, in your physical life, you are somebody who has many responsibilities. Maybe there's a lot of people who rely on you, whether that's family, children, or maybe in your workplace, there's people who depend on you. Maybe you're just that mom friend who is always giving people advice and keeping people in check. So remember to allow yourself to receive that. And of course, it's great to get that advice, comfort, guidance from friends, but your guides want to talk to you too. Some other notes that I had for this pile is that it would be good for you at this time to have more fun, and reconnect with yourself. Remember that you're such a wonderful person outside of just what you do for others, yeah. Maybe either spending time alone would be good, or some time with really, really close friends or really close family that you can just completely Be yourself. Yeah. And remember like what you really want from life, and that you can ask for help. You don't always have to be the one taking responsibilities. It's okay to like lighten up and unwind, basically, is the message that is coming through. And if you ever need anything, we're here for you. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and look at the cards. We have 5 of Fire. No. Authentic Truth. Okay, I'm just going to move these over so that everything will fit. We have Relationship. 2 of Wands. King of Swords. Page of Swords. And the 9 of Cups. So what I see from this pile is that you are a reliable person. I think your life's mission, or just like even just your day-to-day life, it is heavily focused on your relationships with people. Like I was saying, you might have responsibilities to take care of people, but I'm seeing not only that, I'm seeing that you almost have like almost like a peacemaker role, or like when there's a bunch of conflicting opinions, you tend to be the person to like step in and say like, okay, how can we get everybody aligned? How can we get everybody agreeing on something? And I do think it's something that comes naturally to you. I do think it's something that you may enjoy doing, or at least it's comes with ease to you. And maybe you're not realizing that it's a burden, you know? I think you're the type of person who is like, if I want something to get fixed, if I want a problem to get solved, I'll do it myself. And that also can drain us a lot, because at the end of the day, you know, it's these guys, it's the guides who's going to know the best outcome to keep everybody happy, and that's what they're striving for all the time. And maybe when you're less connected with them, it's like you don't have that safety net, and it's like, I have to figure this out by myself. And maybe if we had a stronger relationship, you know, in these times of conflict, you can kind of say like, okay, I'm just going to step back and I'm going to have faith in the situation that everything is going to work out okay. This is going to be a huge relief on you. I also feel like you might kind of be like a yes person. Like you don't like to say no to people. You don't like to disappoint anybody. But the message that I'm getting with these 2 cards is like, maybe this is some guidance for you to establish better like boundaries with people. That it's okay to say no to people. It doesn't mean that they're gonna dislike you. They're gonna respect your decision. And I really think it's hard for you, because like, as much as, you know, taking responsibility and keeping people in check, it sounds like a very practical thing, but I honestly think for you it does come from a place of like genuinely, like deeply wanting everybody in your life to be happy. And that's sort of, I think that's sort of the nature of your soul group in general. Like if I think about your guides, I think that's very much their personality as well. If you've been like incarnated together, or if they've been incarnated, that's sort of the type of people you are, like nurturers almost. So there is sort of like a Virgo energy to it, but also feel like water stuff, like Cancer, Scorpio, this type of like deep nurturing energy. And maybe that's, you know, if you just are logical and like, okay, we need to keep everybody orderly and we need to make the best decision, then it would probably be easier for you to say no to people, because you're thinking of the most practical outcome. But I don't see that for you, because you're really compassionate, and when people are having like disagreements, you're like, I wish there was a way that everybody could be happy, but it's hard, you know, especially when there's like, this is like, when I see this tarot card, it always gives me anxiety because it's like the 5 people with sticks. When it's just 2 people having a disagreement, it's easier to solve, right? You just got to get 2 people on the same page. But maybe you have like a family with children, so it's like, or like you run a company, or you have an important role in your company, or you have like a wide group of friends. The more and more people come into it, the harder it is to keep everybody happy. And maybe that's a cause of stress for you. I'm thinking of like, you know, that girl in Mean Girls who's like, what does she say? She's like, I want to make a cake and fill it with rainbows and everybody would eat and be happy. I don't know if that's the exact line, but that's kind of how I'm seeing you. That's how I'm seeing your soul group. That's definitely how I'm seeing your guides. And what they're telling you is like, maybe you can't see that solution, but we see it. We know how to make everybody happy. And it doesn't have to be all on you. It's very honorable that you assume that role, or that you have been entrusted to have that role. But you can count on us. We'll figure it out. We know how to make everybody happy in such a way that would feel effortless to you. And so what you have to do is focus on yourself and make sure your mental health is okay. So learn when to say no, learn when to say I'm stepping back, learn when to say, you know, actually, I don't think that's a good idea. We're going to have a disagreement. Like, speak your truth. This relationship card, it sort of highlights the focus of relationships in your life, but I want to point out the first part of this because it says your primary relationship is with yourself and God. Whether or not you believe in God, you can take this to mean like it's with yourself and it's with the higher being or beings that are protecting you. So as long as you keep that in check, your interpersonal relationships with other people are going to move flawlessly, right? As you feel safe and loved within, so shall your other relationships bloom and prosper. The cards below here are, this is telling me like why people trust you. You have very good foresight and you make things feel safe. You make it feel safe to step forward. Like people trust your leadership. You have sort of an authority to you. But I want to look at these two a little bit. They're both swords, but they have quite different personalities. I think that you're trying to be this king. So you're trying to always make the rational decision. You're trying not to get too emotionally involved in the situation, but it's so difficult because you care so much about everybody. It's really hard to be a king of swords when you have that like compassionate and nurturing side to you. And it would be a shame to lose that just because of some pressure to like deliver, if that makes sense. And it's okay to be this guy. The way I see him, he's still a sword, so he's still smart, he's still intellectual, he still makes executive decisions, but he's not afraid to speak his mind, you know? I think I do, like, when I'm saying this stuff, I do understand that there may appear to be a little bit of a contradiction, right? Because I'm saying learn to say no, learn to have boundaries, learn to speak your mind, but I'm also saying don't lose the compassionate part of yourself that wants to make everybody happy. And so you may be thinking, well, how can I do both? And that's where this comes in. So you can be this, you can be true to yourself, you can speak your truth and release the burden that you are the one who has to make everybody happy. Because that's what we're here for. We will lead you all together to that place. And it ends with this, like, everybody is emotionally satisfied. Everybody gets what they want. So it's this sort of like letting go and letting God, like removing yourself from the equation in terms of the process to get there. And just focus on that outcome where everybody is happy. So I think that to sum up the message that is being given here is just release the burdens. You don't have to take so many burdens because they put stress on a person, but we can do them so easily. We know the way to bring about the best outcome for everybody involved, and people don't really know. There's just things that people can't know, but that's what we're here for. And if you just let go and, don't force yourself to be any certain way. Act from your natural instincts and just trust us, trust the situation. And it will be scary at first, because it feels like losing control, right? When you're so used to taking the responsibility, you're so used to making things happen through your own efforts. I think it's scary at first to let go and trust, but we got this. Like, guides can do a million times what we can do, right? So I think they're just saying, like, lean on us. We'll take care of it. So you spend time having fun. Remember who you are outside of like your relationships or your roles. And just enjoy the wonderful person that you are, the individual that you are. So I think I will leave it at that. If you're interested in a personal reading that will be more specific to your situation, all the information for that is in the description. You can send me an email or message me on Instagram to book the reading. And yeah, thank you so much for letting me read for you today. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye! Hi, number twos. So if you chose the rose quartz, this is going to be your reading. So I'm going to start by reading this little message here. I will talk about it for a little bit, see if anything else comes through, and then I'll move on to the cards. So the message that I have for you guys is have patience. Before I did this reading, I just took a minute to meditate on all of the piles, and I was feeling like a little bit of frustration with this one. So the energy that the guides would be trying to send to you at this time is just like soothing energy and comforting energy. Think of like holding a baby and there, trying to soothe you, because there are some frustrating things going on right now, particularly I would say in your relationships, of course. So some things to remember at this time is all the people that you're dealing with, there's no malicious people. So nobody's trying to manipulate you, nobody's trying to silence you, nobody's trying to neglect you. Maybe sometimes it might feel that way to you, but what they're saying is that everybody in this situation genuinely does care for you. Maybe their way of expressing it is not like suited to your love language. And disagreements are bound to happen, like no matter how much you love each other. And so maybe this has just been a time for you where it's been particularly frustrating. Maybe it feels hard to like have yourself heard. Maybe you've like given up because it's like nobody listens anyway. But what they're saying is that everybody does love you and everybody wishes the best for you. And it would be good to try to see that, even if it's difficult. I could say like try to force yourself, like make an effort to see the positives in the situation, because I think you will find that there are a lot of good things going on for you in the midst of however you may be feeling right now. I'm also getting the message to like choose your battles. Like, is this situation something that could be fixed by me changing my outlook? Is this something that could be fixed by me having a more positive view on the situation? Is this something that could be fixed by me having more faith in myself or in my guides or in the people involved? Or is this actually a problem that I need to speak up about? And maybe that reevaluation would also be eye-opening for you. So with that being said, I'm going to take a look at the cards now. We have 3 of Earth, Leap, Whispers. If you've had a personal reading with me, there's like a 90% chance that this came up. It comes up so often. Giving and Receiving. Oh, 3 of Pentacles, so that's the same card twice. Queen of Wands. The Fool. And the High Priestess. Whew, okay. So, I mean, like the first pile, this is message that is centered on relationships. I get this sense that you're someone who does a lot of good work alone. I was drawn to this like Queen of Wands card first. I'm certain that this represents you. You're very passionate about what you do, and you're very creative, you're very talented, and you do have this like fiery spirit about you, so at times it can be warm and relaxing. Sometimes it can be a bit more volatile. This is like the nature of fire. And but you're like hot-blooded and your creative expression is very strong. It's very beautiful. With the 3 of Earth and the 3 of Pentacles, these are both the same card, but this also talks about creativity and high quality work, but it also talks about being a team player. So this is maybe where I see the frustrations coming in. I'm actually one of these people myself. Like, I prefer to do things alone, and I've been a little bit stubborn in learning the lesson that sometimes collaborating with people actually makes better work. And sometimes we hate to compromise because it feels like we're compromising ourselves and like our vision or however we think things should be done. But working together is an important skill, and sort of to like turn it back on myself, and this is just my experience, so I'm not saying you're like this, but maybe this would relate to some people. Working in a group and working with others, maybe it's not hard because everybody's an idiot. Maybe it's hard because I'm stubborn, and it's nothing wrong. Like, it's a good thing to have strong creative vision and stuff like that. But I think there's just a little bit of like failing to recognize here that the people who are involved with you and are trying to help you do have good intentions, you know? Like they're not trying to mess with you, and if you're patient with them, they can actually bring you to higher heights. Um and this could apply to any situation, you know, like maybe there's someone in your family that you don't see eye to eye with, but actually they are giving you good advice. um, Maybe you feel like your significant other like doesn't really understand you, or they're trying to like stifle your expression. Maybe it's the people you work with, but what your guides are saying is listen to them. Like they're not they're not like plotting against you. They're here for you. They want to see you succeed, and they do have some good ideas. Every, you know, everything in life is about a balance. It's not good to rely too much on other people, but it's also not good to be too independent. Um, and it's wrong to think that we can do everything on our own. And it's wrong to think that we always know the right answer. And I get it. Like when you have this fiery energy in you, it's like you have that impulse to like express whatever comes to your mind right away, and like nothing can get in your way. So this collaboration becomes a little bit difficult. The whispers card, that it comes up all the time in the personal readings. Um, and what it has come to mean is like it has to do with a situation where the solution is, well, to calm down, to not think so much about it, to let things take its course, essentially to have patience, and almost like to just shut your mind off and let everything unfold, because the outcome is positive. And you know, there might even be like creative powers in you or sides of yourself that you haven't tapped into yet, because somebody else can come along, and even if the interaction is difficult, it's going to make you grow. It's going to unleash more potential in you. And you're so loved. Like maybe you don't see that sometimes, or maybe you think people are just saying it, because sometimes it really feels like they don't, you know, especially if they're like giving you criticism. But everybody in your life loves you so much. And your guides want you to remember that. And if you could go about your interactions every day with the assumption that what people are saying to you is out of a place of the highest love, like you've been so blessed. Just remember your blessings, remember how far you've come with these people in your life, and trust them. They would never want to hurt you. This maybe comes from like a place of a little bit of anxiety in you, that like maybe people are against you. So there's also a lot of like calming, comforting energy coming through. Like you're loved, you know? So this is a situation to kind of turn it back on yourself. If I can live with the assumption that everything is in the best intentions for me, everybody is speaking to me with love, even if it's criticism, it's because they believe in me, of how great I am and how great I can be. I see a lot of passion in you, you know? This makes me think of like, you know, our like original fearless impulse, like to live boldly. And that shines through really strong in you, like just like life force, you know? And I think everybody in your life sees that. They see like your passion for life. They see your creativity. They see that fire in you and they love it. And what they're trying to do here, they're not trying to like stifle it. They're trying to harness it. You know? They're trying to make it go in a direction towards an aim. The Fool card and the Leap card are very similar. And because we have like the fire sign here, I'm feeling like kind of Aries. If you're not an Aries, it's just that energy of like decisiveness and knowing what you want to do and taking charge. But this team player energy will be very beneficial to you. This is the potential you have. I think your guides want you to reflect on who you are as a person, on how far you've come. She's like, let me think about this, because this is just like, I'm thinking of like a rocket. Like it's just energy like going forward into the void. And this is what happens when you channel your energy, when you decide what direction you're going, and when you learn about your mission. So really like take a look at where you want to be going, how the people in your life are helping you. I think it's going to bring you a lot of clarity. But for the moment, you're being sent so much love and comfort and reassurance. And I don't know if guides experience like negative emotions like frustration or anger. I don't really think that. But I guess it's a little maybe like sad to see like, you know, if you feel frustrated in these times, it's because like there's some blessings that you're not seeing, or you're not seeing all the love that you're being given. And then that's like a little bit sad. So I think your guides are urging you to see how much love you have and where you can be heading. And then you'll really be a force to be reckoned with. You'll be so powerful. Yeah, so I think I'll end this reading there. If you're interested in a personal reading that is more specific to your situation, you can send me an email or a DM on Instagram, and all the information, like the details about the reading, is in the description. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye! Hi, number threes. So if you chose the citrine, this is going to be your reading. I'm going to start by reading you the little message I've written here. I'll talk about it a little bit and anything else that comes through, and then I will move on to the cards. So the message that your guides have for you today is, we're proud of you. Yay! So the energy that is coming through, there we go. The energy that is coming through is one of celebration. Your guides are really praising you for, who you've become, not just your material accomplishments, but they're very proud of your character and how you've always carried yourself very well in spite of whatever was going on. Maybe a lot of you in this pile are people who were sort of dealt a rough hand in life. Maybe you had problems in your upbringing. Maybe you've been involved in abusive or toxic relationships. Maybe there's been a lot of people who have tried to take advantage of you. Maybe you come from a place of not being so well off financially. But whatever hand you were dealt, you really made the best of the situation. You never let yourself become a victim, and you really made the decision to go forward despite everything. And that was so brave of you. That was so strong. And yeah, they're just really, really proud of you. And they want, if in case anybody hasn't told you recently, you're doing amazing, sweetie. You're doing such a good job. So I also wanted to say, I think a lot of you, if you've been focusing on improving your health, whether it's like physical health or mental health, that it was really the right thing to do. So you may have been guided to, take a moment for yourself, make sure you're in a healthy headspace, working on your mental health, and you took that guidance. So perhaps you are quite strongly connected to your guides. You're taking their messages on the daily, and you're acting on them. So they're very proud of you for that too. And also that you're doing a better job than you think. So, in spite of all your accomplishments, maybe you're somebody who's a little bit hard on yourself. So they're telling you, no, really, you're doing such an amazing job. So this is a very happy pile. Yay. We're celebrating your success. We're really proud of your character. You're the bigger person, whatever happens, you take the higher road, and you're like, I can either let this get me down, or I can become even more awesome, and you always choose the latter. So good for you. It's very admirable. So we have the Chariot, Star Mother, Soul Writing, there's Wedding, Ten of Swords. Oh, Four of Wands. That's another wedding card. Huh. Interesting. The Three of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. Okay, this is interesting. A lot of stuff is coming in at once. So if this becomes a rambling mess, I apologize in advance. All right, so first I want to talk about the Soul Writing card, because I think it's quite important. The Soul Writing card makes me think of, before we begin a lifetime, we sort of map it out, right? So it's like we're writing the script for the movie that is our life, So when the Soul Writing card comes up, it tells me that the individual or the group that I'm reading for is someone who has really stuck to their path. Because, of course, we plan everything out before we're born, but you do have, a destiny to some extent, but it is possible to deviate from your path, right? because we're not always in accordance with our higher self, and stuff happens. Like, there's many alternate realities and alternate endings, whatever. However, I don't know how I should word it. But you are someone who's really, really stuck to your soul's path, whether you're aware of that or not. It doesn't even matter if you're not that spiritual. You have a really good connection with your higher self, and a really good connection with your guides. The way I'm feeling the relationship between you and your guides is like siblings. So in the sense that, like, maybe you were actually siblings in a past life together, but I want to use that term because it's like family, but it's not like a parent and child thing where like somebody has like the authority in the situation. Of course they're your guides, so they take care of you, but there's a sense of like being equals, I guess, with the deep bond and like openness of a family. And I feel like saying to some of you, if you haven't had like the best relationship with your family, like, these guides are like your soul's family. They're like your family that loves you to bits, right? But yeah, so you're really staying on your path, so you're doing a really good job with that. The Chariot shows me that, well, it says important achievements, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. So this is obviously a nod to your achievements, and recognizing you for that. And then the Star Mother says, how can you mother yourself? So I think this is what you've done in your life. You've really taken charge. If nobody was there to take care of you, you were like, fuck it, I'll take care of myself. And that's, of course, your guides took care of you as well, but how do I say this? Like, their love and nurturing energy came down to you as like, I'm going to take care of myself, because of course nobody was physically there caring for you, or at times in your life it has felt like that. And maybe that just goes to show how powerful your guides are, because maybe you have been in situations where most people would have given up and been like, you know what, nothing's gonna come of my life, but you always like strived, aimed for greatness. I think that shows how strong your guides are. That will that you had at your core, no matter how hard things got, that will to like get up and dust yourself off and keep going, it's very likely that has come from your guides, because they believed in you so much and they knew that you could overcome anything. So even if you didn't believe in yourself, your guides believed in you. So that translated in your mind as like that little voice, like, let's keep going, I can really be something. And so, it's been really satisfying for them too, to see that your bond has like tested and proven to be true and proven to be strong. So yeah, they're just in like a state of celebration, and almost like in awe of what you've achieved, like, if they look back at all of those times in your life where you had struggles, sure, maybe when you were younger, like, you didn't handle yourself so well, but that's to be expected. And as you've grown over the years, like, you've learned how to be the bigger person. You've learned how to use every experience as a tool to just grow and become better. So yeah, really, yeah, I do think that this pile are people who have had it rough. And we'll get to that in the bottom row. So in general, I've talked about how you're taking care of your mental health. I talked about how you've become a person of great character, a very capable person, somebody who's not a victim. However, because I want to talk about like there's two wedding cards, right? Because the Four of Wands represents a wedding. And then there's this card of like being, you know, mentally drained, being exhausted, having your energy depleted. And then there's the Three of Swords, which talks about, you know, disappointment, sadness, heartbreak. And then there's the Five of Pentacles, which talks about being left out in the cold. So I do want to talk about this a little bit. And the energy for this part, like, just think of it as like a very, very gentle nudge from your guides of like just something to think about. So I think for most of you, if this is talking literally about marriage, I would say that some of you are reluctant to get married, or you haven't found the one yet. But on a more general sense, we could take the wedding card to mean like commitment to others, or deepening your relationship, deepening your bond with someone. How do I say this? I mean, like, I do think that a lot of people have, you know, done you wrong in the past. Like, they've left you out, like just thrown you away like you were nothing, or I think you've been taken advantage of a lot, because you're like a gold mine of like talent and genius, you know, and people want to get in on that. And so yeah, I think you have been screwed over quite a bit, and you've just, whatever path you've chosen to walk, it's been one where you can really see people's ugly side. I think you're somebody who has really seen people's greed and selfishness. Like, yeah, you've seen the really dark sides of people. And so, you know, of course, you've learned and grown from all these situations to, you know, because you don't want to cheat yourself. You want to take care of yourself. But I do sense like a sort of exhaustion, you know, with the idea of intimate relationships. And I don't know if this means literally about like marrying somebody, like about having a life partner that you put all of your trust into, or if it's just trusting people in general, or building relationships in general. But there is a little bit of like maybe trust issues, because if you marry somebody, it's like, first of all, you're like giving them all of you, and there's not, I mean, there is a way out, like if you get divorced, but symbolically it's like there's no way out. This is forever. This is like a full commitment. And somebody who's been through what you have, it's 1000% natural to have that fear of having your heart broken. So it might be something like a wound that you haven't healed and that you've kind of been ignoring. So it's just a little nudge to think about that. They're not saying like you have to get married or something. I mean, maybe you could start thinking about that. Maybe you used to really want that, and then you became a little bit like cynical about it. Or maybe you used to be cynical about it, now you're sort of starting to think about tying the knot with somebody, learning to put your trust in people again. Because you've definitely reached the top in your achievements in life. So if there's maybe a next step to be thinking about, maybe we could start thinking about this a little bit. These cards do tell me that like you've had your heart broken, you've been abandoned. And in some ways you've overcome it, and in some ways you haven't. You've made like a remarkable person of yourself, and you've achieved great heights. That's like, there's no doubt about that. But maybe it's time to start asking yourself, like, am I loving as freely as I want, as I would like to, or as I used to? Can I completely expose myself and be vulnerable around people? When was the last time I like fully trusted someone with all my heart? It might be time, if you haven't already, to just start like slowly and gently working that into your thoughts. Maybe your guides have been sort of dropping little signs, like a soulmate is coming, a wedding partner is coming. Again, because this is a general reading, I don't want to say that it's marriage for everybody, but it's a strong possibility. And if not, it's just talking about like a higher commitment to others. So all in all, super proud of you. You've done a really, really good job. But if you ever feel like there's something missing, maybe, find somebody to love. And if you have this in your life already, then it would just be some guidance to focus on opening up to them more, focus on being more vulnerable, focus on really trusting them, like sharing everything, which might be kind of scary for you, but you've grown and developed so much, and this is kind of the next step, it looks like. So it's just something to think about. And again, it's very gentle guidance. There's no like rush to do it, right? So, yeah, it's a very positive reading in general. So I think I'm going to end it here. If you're interested in a personal reading that is more specific to your situation, you can email me or send me a DM on Instagram, and all the information about the personal readings is in the description. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Hi, number 4s. So if you chose the Amethyst, this is going to be your reading. So first, I'm going to read the little message that I've written for you guys. I'll talk about it and anything else that comes through, and then I'll move on to the cards. So the message that your guides have for you today is, you're so close. So there's heartache in this pile for sure. And there's a lot of overthinking. A lot of people, I've just been doing personal readings for like a little bit over a month now, but there's quite a few people who send messages like, I've been having these feelings or seeing these signs, and I don't know if it's my intuition or if I'm just going crazy. And that's the kind of energy I feel with this pile, because first of all, this pile, you guys are such deeply emotional people. Like, it's really beautiful. You feel things really deeply. A lot of you are likely empaths, but at the same time, you also have this very rational side to you, and I think that the two sides like battle it out a lot. I see that maybe that's something you've been struggling with recently, that like you've been having these feelings like that what you want is coming, or that it's around the corner, like But then your logical mind says, like, no, that's stupid. These are not signs. This is just in your imagination. I mean, I think this is a battle that a lot of spiritual people deal with. But what your guides want to tell you now is that you're not crazy. Your intuition is right. The feelings that you're feeling are 100,000% real. And whatever you're wishing for and hoping for, that person or that dream that you're wishing for, it's wishing for you too. And there's so much love in you guys. Like you were like born to be lovers. That sounds like a weird thing to say. But yeah, I see like really sensitive people, really gentle people, really nurturing people, like Cancer energy, and also like Taurus and Libra, because I feel like Venusian, so like very beautiful, sensual energy, very like focused on the partner. So maybe a lot of you have had like romance things weighing on your mind, or like a specific person weighing on your mind. And I feel like kind of sadness surrounding it. First of all, because maybe they're not in your life or as close with you as you would like them to be. But also because maybe it's been hard for you to like acknowledge that your feelings are real, or that they love you back, so your guides are telling you that they do. If you're not asking about a person and you're wondering like, is this dream meant for me? Is this like the outcome that I want? Is it really what's meant for me? Then the answer is that it is. So your guides want to give you confirmation. They want to validate you. And they want to tell you like, we see your struggle. We know that you've been waiting for so long. We know that it's been lonely and cold. But we're going to give you what you deserve. And it's just, you're so close. If only you could see that it's just around the corner. Like all the blessings, all the love and happiness that you've wanted. If you've been thinking or dreaming about a specific person, then that exact specific person is coming. You don't have to stress yourself with how, because we know how. We're gonna hook you up. So yeah, they want to reassure you at this time. So now let's take a look at the cards. There's the High Priestess, Dance with Life, Inward Revolution, There's Nothing to Worry About, Queen of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the Moon. Okay. So it's interesting to have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords together. I think there was another reading that had it was the King of Cups and the King of Swords, but it was the same type of person. It was the same type of person that they have a very sharp mind, but they also have a very soft heart. And so this may be something that you've kind of struggled with your whole life. It's funny that the queens are like, what's it called? They're facing outwards of each other, like they have their backs turned to each other. Maybe in your mind you think that like these two sides of you are, what's the word, mutually exclusive, like they can't coexist, and it's always been this tug of war. But the Six of Pentacles in the middle, that's about balance and fairness, and this guy is like, you know, he's giving both people equally what they want. He's feeding both sides of them. You can have both of these, you know. It's actually very like beautiful quality to have. But even though there's two queens, for some reason I also feel that this card, the Queen of Cups, is like representing the partner that you want, or the type of relationship that you want. Specifically the Queen of Cups is what they're telling me. This partner is similar to you in that they're really, really soft on the inside. Like super loving, really loving. And really beautiful. And probably you know who I'm talking about. And in case you didn't know, this person wants to shower you with so much love and affection like you have never gotten before. Even more than you're dreaming of. And I think that the person you're waiting for, they have that like hard exterior, and they kind of act like they don't care, or they act tough, but they're like the hugest softie, and it's really cute. So yeah, I do think a lot of you, this is like a romance or soulmate situation. But I don't know, it's like you're having some issues with your intuition, and I don't know why. I mean, of course you have that rational side to you, but you know, if you're into tarot, you're spiritual, you're an intuitive empath, that could be the way you are. And then just for some reason, when it comes to this connection, it's like you doubt yourself. Maybe it's because you feel like it's too good to be true. Maybe it's because you can't see the logical path there, you know? Like there's no obvious like step by step to how to make this connection work. And maybe that's troubling you a lot because you feel powerless. But that's what the guides are there for. When you don't know what to do, that's because you're supposed to leave it to them. And they will step in and make everything happen for you. And there's nothing to worry about because they see the full picture. And they would also like to stress that like you have no idea like the level of love that you deserve. And that's a little bit sad. Like, why wouldn't you be deserving of this connection, of this person? And the truth is that like the connection is so much better than you're even imagining it. So what you deserve is actually, if you're thinking like I don't deserve this, well, it's actually you do deserve like this. It's so much, it's really going to exceed your expectations. So that's the bottom row. I want to show you these cards, and I think they speak really clearly. Listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting, and also inward revolution. So you are being called to listen to your heart. And what they want you to do is like just for a moment, even if it feels silly, even if it's a little hard, just allow yourself to create that perfect, seemingly too good to be true daydream of the life that you want in your head. And just for a minute, allow yourself to believe that it's real. Because it is. it's coming to you sooner than you think. This person that you may be thinking about, like, thinks about you constantly, all the time. Your guides might even be like in the same family, you know? Like you're all together, so they're guiding you and they're also guiding the other person. Okay, so I just had some tears come out my face. Um, so number 4 was the crying pile, guys. um, um, it's been really, really long time, I think, um, that you haven't been able to go home. And it's like, it's just been so long and so lonely that it's like, it's exceeded our like threshold of understanding, you know? Like, when things are tough to some extent, you can say like, okay, there's a lesson to be learned here, and this is making me stronger, and this and that. You know, people have that tolerance, that capacity to endure pain, right? As long as they can understand that it's for a greater good, and like, it's, things are going to get better. But it's like, this has just gone on for so long that it almost seems like it's like cruel, you know? But they're telling you like, no, you just got to hang in there for like, for a little bit longer. In the context of like all your lifetimes, it's like you just have to wait a few more seconds, you know? And this Dance with Life card, do something to change your energy. Maybe the key to all of this is realizing that you do deserve this. Maybe you've been like subconsciously stopping yourself from really trying to manifest it because it would be too painful if it didn't work out. But so there's like an imbalance, because on the other side, whoever's on the other side, they're like manifesting so hard, but they can't do it alone. So your guides are kind of, you know, pick up the slack is a strong way to say it, but you have that manifesting power too. You really do. And we know that you know that because you've manifested other things in your life. It's just that when it comes to the situation, you're putting so much weight on it, and you don't believe like you're quote unquote worthy of it, when it's so silly, because this is where you belong. And so you're like, yeah, you are cheating yourself a little bit. When you have these worries like this, it shuts off your intuition. It makes you unable to see things for what they really are. But you have the power to bring this if you work together with us. Let yourself believe that it's true, that it's real, that this is all coming to you. This is what the dance makes me think of. When we manifest things, we're like doing a dance with the universe or with our guides. They make a move and then we make a move, and like this. And so are you making your move? Because they are. Are you dancing together? It also makes me think of partnership, because there's like two people dancing together. So yeah, in the end, what they want to tell you is reassurance that the signs you're seeing are real, you're not crazy. Just shut your mind off, let yourself feel that love, because you have so much, like, they know you have so much love in your heart, and it's a waste, you know, like, don't let it go to waste. Have faith, basically. And for what, if it's like comfort to you, this person they'll always wait for you. They're never going to stop waiting for you. So this is not something that can slip out of your hands. Maybe that will help you feel more comfortable to try to manifest it. But yeah, there's no way you could ever lose them. So in a way, this is almost just like a test, you know? Like, we were going to give it to you the whole time. We just wanted to show you that, you know, show you how to use your intuition and how to, you know, how to value yourself enough to know what you deserve. It is just a test in the end, I think. That you can really have everything. You're so close. You're so close. So I would recommend you, when you finish this video, to go close your eyes and just picture the most beautiful, perfect outcome that you could ever imagine. And tell yourself, this is real, this is real. I wouldn't lie to you. You can really have this. Okay, so I think I'm gonna end it there. You guys made the tears come for a little bit, so I definitely feel for you. This is not easy, but you can do it. Yeah, so if you're interested in personal reading that's more specific to your situation, you can send me an email or DM me on Instagram, and all the information that you need to know about booking the reading is in the description. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye! Hi, number fives. So if you chose the Malachite, this is going to be your reading. So first, I'm going to read this little message that I've written for you. I'll talk a bit about it and anything else I'm picking up, and then I will move on to the cards. So the message that your guides have for you today is, we miss you. Aw. So I think this just simply means like that they want to talk to you more. Maybe you used to be in communication with your guides a lot, and then these days you haven't been so much, whether that's just because like you're busy or you just haven't thought to do it, or maybe you're not really sure if you like believe what's really there. The other thought that I got was like, you know, when they say like little kids have like more psychic senses, like they're more in tune with that. So maybe like when you were younger, you had a stronger connection to that realm of things, and then as you got older, you started taking things more seriously. You just became like more logical, as adults do, or just I think something has happened where you're just not in communication so much anymore, and they're saying like, you know, the invitation is still open, we're still here, we really love to talk to you. And these guides, like, they love you so much. It's kind of like you're like their little baby, like they treasure you so much. So it's almost like that feeling of like when your kid is little, they I don't know what the English word is, when they like snuggle up to you and they want to play with you all the time, and then they get older and they go off to university and you don't, like, they don't talk to you that much anymore. It's kind of that feeling for this pile. So they're just saying like, hey, we want to talk. If you're around, let's talk. So it's really sweet. So that being said, I'm going to take a look at the cards now. There's renewal, starseed, grounding, law of attraction, the world, Six of Swords, Eight of Cups, and the Hierophant. Whoa, okay, so let's see. There's definitely in this pile, you're being called to reconnect with your spiritual side, and you're being called to a higher purpose. And it's like something that's been forgotten maybe, or put to the side in favor of more material, everyday type things. I did get the feeling that that this pile was maybe starting to take their life a little bit too seriously, like their physical 3D life. It's very possible that a lot of these people in this pile are star seeds, which means that they came here with a mission to change the world. That they have a very elevated vibration, and that their mission here is to lift up others around them and essentially lift up the world. And this also shows me that you are very powerful manifestors. So this is definitely a spiritually gifted pile. And so what I think the guides are saying is like, you know, just check in, like, have you been tapping into that side of you? Have you been using your gifts to the best of your ability? Have you remembered your mission? I also want to point out that there's like 3 cards of moving in a new direction. There's renewal, and this says, review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts, time to move in a new direction. There's the Six of Swords, which shows moving on from a difficult situation to a more peaceful and free situation. And there's also the Eight of Cups, which is leaving something behind in a search for something more meaningful. So there's a lot of moving on to something new. And maybe it's like, you know, actually, like, my dad is one of these people. Like, he's a light worker, and he'll say stuff like, you know, I've always known that I've had this purpose, that like I'm a light worker and I'm meant to do something with that. But I guess he just kind of got caught up in like everyday things and normal job and stuff like that. So I think your guides want you to kind of check in and make sure that you're still on that mission. And if not, then maybe it's time to move in a new direction. Maybe you have to leave something in your like physical life, and move on to something deeper, move on to something more spiritual. Maybe you have to change the people you're around so that you can like rekindle that flame, you know, that starseed flame. Because there's a lot of power in you. First of all, you have a lot more empathy for others than like most people do. And you're a person who really sees like the earth and the world and the people in the world as a collective. Like, we're all in this together. And I think everybody likes that as an ideal, but it's very few people who really put it into practice, right? because it's in human nature, you know, to separate and classify and judge other people. It's just what we do. But you're someone who really genuinely sees all people on this earth as equals. So you do have a really special gift, just that in itself. And then on top of that, you have this amazing ability to like bring your light down from the heavens onto earth and to manifest big changes. So I think your guides are telling you like it's about time to start really using these gifts for something greater than whatever you're doing now. Like, I'm taking the world card to be very literally the world, especially because we have the grounding card with the planet Earth on it. And it's kind of like the world needs you. The world needs more people like you to step up and lead by example. So maybe the current situation that you're in now doesn't allow for you to express yourself in that way. Like you might be just too tied up with the menial things of life, you know? Like your job, or just having more small-minded sounds bad, but less aware people around you. And so I don't know, this situation is going to be different for everybody because everybody is doing something different. Everybody has different people in their life. But it might be time to start thinking about leaving some things behind. Like there's 2 cards of leaving things behind and time to move in a new direction. And more specifically, going to something with a deeper meaning. I think this represents you. This is a spiritual person. This is an educated person. And this is somebody who has something to say and people are going to listen. So think about also what that message is. What's the message that you want to give to people? Your guides are telling you, I'm sure you've always known your whole life that you are unique, that you have a unique way of thinking. I've heard that a lot of starseeds feel like almost like visitors on Earth, or like they just don't fit in. Or I don't know how to say, because like they're not from here, they can't relate because they were sent here for a different important mission. So maybe you've always had a sense of this and it's time to really embrace it. And it's time to start trying to share your ideas with people of how you see the world. And a lot of the times people aren't going to get it, you know, but you just have to keep speaking your truth. Maybe you forgot about this and stopped this because you were like discouraged. It's like you were speaking your truth and sharing your vision to people and it was like falling on deaf ears and it was just like frustrating. So you were like, never mind, I'll just live like a normal person. Which is, it's okay. It's okay to take a break from our mission. It's okay to take time to like reevaluate things. But I think your guides have probably felt like it's about time to maybe resume communication. They want to start trying to help you again, guiding you towards your purpose, because this was the mission that you guys that you chose to fulfill, and you're very much in it together. Yeah. So it's time to step up. This one was pretty straightforward, I think. Yeah, I would recommend like to get back in contact with your guides if you haven't been. This could even just be like they want to talk to you more often. Maybe they have some ideas of how you could start to make improvements, how you could start to work on your mission. But yeah, they definitely want to talk. So I don't know how you do that, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through like your own tarot cards that you use by yourself, whatever it is that you do to talk to your guides, that's what they would like to do with you right now. And if you don't know how to talk to them, I mean, I think there's a lot of videos on that. It's very individual, so I wouldn't really feel comfortable like telling another person how to talk to their guides, but I think a lot of people who maybe have more knowledge on the subject have covered that because I've seen like a lot of videos, so maybe that would be helpful to you. But if you already know what you're doing, ignore me. I mean, you are obviously very spiritually advanced, so but yeah, it's time to get back on that. Yeah, it's time to remember your purpose. So that's all they're saying to you. It's very clear and straightforward, and yeah, there's a lot of love, and yeah, they miss you. That's all. Um, yep. So I think I'm going to end the reading here. If you want a personal reading that's more specific to your situation, you can send me an email or DM me on Instagram, and all the information that you need to know about booking a reading is in the description. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!